There's a dead guy in my apartment. On the floor of my downtown studio apartment, next to my single bed, there's a dead body. It's a guy I know. His name, it's not important, or at least it wasn't important to me just a few hours earlier when he was alive. I never much cared for the guy. An annoying loudmouth, a real know-it-all. In the couple of years that I've known him, I found it so easy and so simple to hate him. So I've never showed him patience. I've always avoided this guy. But now he's a dead guy on my floor. I'm finding it difficult to ignore him. Finally, for once, he's not running his mouth. Also, for the first time, I'm actually looking at his face, and in death, he looks less distressed. The deep carved lines on his forehead are finally relaxed. He looks less anxious. Death has made him appear 10 years younger than he ever did alive. The crow's feet and wrinkles around his mouth are yellowed from cigarettes. He chain smoked like a mental patient. In his dirty t-shirt pocket, I spy a half a pack of Camels. A few hours earlier, he was bumming cigarettes off of me. What a pile. Always manipulating, hustling, constantly lying. He's a petty thief. Never look you in the eyes. The belt he wears around his worn jeans are strained with these makeshift holes that he punched in his belt to accommodate his thinning waist, just like mine. So a few years ago back from here, I was in a hospital, a detox unit in New York. My roommate there was a crackhead. And on Visitor's Day, he ran away. From the window, I had watched this guy darting across the parking lot with his suitcase and stupid girlfriend, running full speed to her car, running like somebody was chasing him. Dumb shit. Nobody cares if you run away from the hospital. Nobody cares. I had hoped that he smoked enough crack until he felt like nobody really cares. 2 hours later, my new roommate in the detox walked in, another crackhead. This time, a 75-year-old black gentleman from Kentucky. I like this guy. He asked me why I was in detox, and when I told him why I was in detox, he just cocked his head to one side and he said to me, "What? Hair on? God damn it, boy, hair on." He actually yelled at me. Like we had known each other for years. And for 20 minutes, a 75-year-old crackhead lectured me about how I was making a big mistake in my life. So I grinned. Mostly it has good intention, but mostly I grinned because of his pronunciation. Hair on. That's what he called it, hair on. Really like that guy. Okay, now the dead guy in my apartment, he's dead. He's dead because he was doing something he should not have been doing. If only he would have asked me, I would have told him to stick to what you know. Hey man, you need to stick to what you know. But he's a know-it-all. Stupid crackhead. Christ, only a know-it-all thinks they can do hair on just once. You idiot. Now look what you've done. Now you're dead and on a shitty apartment floor. my shitty apartment floor? Why did I let you inside my shitty apartment? I'm truly amazed at the people I surround myself with out of these stupid circumstances. You are a selfish pig. I'm lecturing to this corpse. What the hell am I going to do with your body? It's a real question. I can't call 911. I can't because I know, they're going to send an army of guys with mustaches. I cannot have the cops and all that shit up here. I'm not sure if I don't even have warrants right now. This is a very poor time in my life. Plus, they're going to have a bunch of stupid cop questions like, "Sir, why is there a dead guy in your apartment?" For the rest of the night, I start to spitball ideas, ways to dispose of his body. I could wrap his body in a rug and roll him up, and I could throw him over my shoulder and casually walk out the front door. Maybe then I could dump his body in the darkness of downtown. Maybe just dump him on a sidewalk until I picture some family outside the Holiday Inn finding him under a pile of newspapers and ruining their trip to SeaWorld. Think, man. You gotta think. Perhaps I could bury him in the Padres' new baseball stadium. They just broke ground on it. It's just a few blocks away. Plenty of fresh turned soil. I'm gonna need a shovel. God damn it. I need to come up with a plan for something I have never planned on. In a really brave experiment, to move his body, I lift his body off the floor while taking these deep breaths. I cradle his thinness in my arms and I bend at the knees. He is in reality skinny like a scarecrow. But this term dead weight finally makes perfect sense to me. His limbs become awkward and rigid, and another term comes up, stiff as a board. It's rigor mortis. Taking another breath, I swing him up on my arms, and I'm still cradling his neck. And now I'm overwhelmed physically. And clumsily, I brush his head, however lightly, I brush his head against the wall. And from the corner of my tired eyes, I spy the two of us in the mirror above the sink. And I see the two of us slow dancing. "Fuck you doing?" I say it and I hear him saying it. What the fuck am I doing? In reaction, I just set him back down. I set him back down on the floor, but I set him back down like he's made of this really fine china. I feel something new. It's something supernatural. Maybe it's just natural. It's a careful, delicate sense of empathy. Jesus, I am so sorry, buddy. And I mean it with all I've got. Despite what I ever thought of despite whatever I thought of him before, I am sure of one thing. It's that he can definitely hear every word I'm saying to him right now. I'm positive about that. And I share more apologies. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I hold his hand and I say it again. I'm sorry. Please, maybe you'll be happier now. So at this moment, I'm fully aware of my past, because in my past, my sorries are very selfish. They're all about making me feel better. But now it's different. It's all about him. This is a real mess that we've made, okay? But only I can change what happens next. I make the decision to call 911 and to accept my consequences. After tidying up my room, I tidy up my room from the sharp objects and the debris. I get ready to do what a normal person would have done hours ago. Do the right thing. Convinced he can hear me, I say a few more words of value to him. And I leave the building. I gotta get out of the building. I leave the building because I need some air. On the way back home, I stop at McDonald's and I get a cheeseburger to go. It's not that I'm hungry. I have to keep up appearances, because who brings home McDonald's if they know there's a dead guy on the floor? Back at the building. Back at my building, I say hello to the nice guy working the front desk. I've always liked him. And I've planned to come running back to him and tell him there's a dead man on my floor. I hope he knows it's nothing personal. Climbing the stairs, I spot the hallway security camera. So I swing the McDonald's bag real carefree. That will look convincing. A guy just minding his own business. I turn the key in my door, and really there's no preparing for what I saw next. It's pitch black inside my apartment. I push open the door, slowly, and then the fluorescent lighting from the hall makes this sharp, straight border of light travel across the floor. Then everything came to a sudden stop. Facing me at the doorway, his eyes still closed, but now his mouth has become slightly ajar. And then, in super slow motion, a cockroach. A jet black, yet so shiny cockroach crept halfway over his parched lips. Out of his mouth, it moved these huge alien tentacles, and quickly disappeared back inside this poor bastard's mouth. Jesus Christ. I said it in a way that I've never meant before. So I threw down the McDonald's bag and I ran down the stairs. Oh my God, he's dead. I blurt out. It's to the man at the front desk, and he doesn't even blink. He shows not a hint of surprise. There's a dead person upstairs. He's very calm, and he tells me to sit down while he makes some phone calls. Phone calls, plural. Obviously, he's done this many times before as the front desk guy in my lovely building. I hear sirens from the street, and they're getting closer. And then the crackle of dispatch radios and slamming doors of emergency vehicles right at my curb. I lead the way upstairs, and with my key in my hand, I count at least 10 firemen in full gear, trudging behind me. Why are they wearing helmets? I unlock the door, and I quickly turn away because I don't want to see any more bugs. And I listen as maybe 5 of the 10 firemen squeeze inside my shitty little apartment, and they pronounce him dead. The rest of the firemen mingle in the hall next to me. One of them breaks the silence and he says, "What'd you do? Kill him?" And I freeze in this false guilt. And then he starts laughing and he's giggling. Another fireman says something to the effect of, "Hey man, I'm sorry about your friend. Nobody cares." Well, not everybody cares. The cops show up next, a minute later, but there's only two of them. I'm bracing for this good cop, bad cop routine. I'm not getting why there's not more cops. The taller cop, he just plainly asked me, "So what happened?" And I answer with bare essential truth. Guy I hardly sort of knew came over, got high. I found him dead. They nod their heads, and all they say is, okay. All right then, thanks. That's it. There's no, "Well, we'll be in touch," or "Don't leave town." They sort of just wish me a good night, and they walk away behind the firemen. I feel dismissed in so many ways, and I sense so does my new friend. I hear a steel gurney. It's bouncing up the stairs. It's the guy from the county morgue. I want to tell him to be careful with him. I'm happily relieved when he seamlessly and delicately transfers and zips up my new friend into a plastic bag. He looks at the wallet the cops fished out of his pocket, and he tells me they will try to look for his next of kin. Please, try hard. I watch as they transfer him into a very generic white van, and I want to offer to help load him because I want to be, maybe I'm his only pallbearer, so I want to help. And I think of the day that he was born, and how excited his mother would have been having her new baby. Even if she was the worst mother ever, I know she was happy when he was born that day. I'm sure of that too. And the van pulled away, and from the curb I whispered, "Richard, I am sorry. I'm so sorry, Richard."